mains test. Then when compared to preliminary history, mains history is easy because first I will give an overall idea how to approach a mains test, because modern India history is the first mains test. I hope you have written, and many would have felt practical difficulties while studying, while listening, while mugging up. You will not feel any difficulties, but while you are putting your pen on the paper, you will have hundreds of or thousands of doubts, right? Whether my answer is right, otherwise would go wrong. First, never ever consider that my answer is right or wrong. This is the first problem to all the candidates. You always think that what you are right. First, you should be very clear that what I am writing is that's the right answer. Never consider whether my answer would go wrong or right. That is up to the evaluator, those who correct your answer sheet. Why do you bother about it? Your thing is just understand the question and what you can give to your best. That's alone. With this, your job is over. Never ever consider that no whether my answer is right or wrong. That is immaterial. When you consider like this, that is the first things you are doing the mistake, because many a candidate would consider that, well, before writing any answer to any questions, you consider whether my answer is right or not. Your answer is ever best answer in the world. First you consider like this, then only you will write and up to the satisfaction. So this is first. Actually, UPSC exam is not just vomiting and it's like a knowledge testing your knowledge. It's psychological. How do you face a question? How do you make up the answer? How do you deliver? Even though with some knowledge, how do you deliver it? Right. So that's the first thing. Okay. Second important is structure. How to structure a mains question answer. So this is structurization for all. First structurization is word limit. Word limit. So these are all the basic thing you should follow in all the exams, not just for history alone. Word limit is strictly. Don't confuse with page limit. No one bother about page. Page limit is not at all a matter. Many a candidate, every time how many page to write a 20 mark? It is not right. Word limit is the matter. The word limit is given in the near the at the end of the question itself. So word limit is the matter, not the page limit. Okay. How the word limit? As per UPSC, if it is 10 mark, 150 to 175 words. Never cross more than 175 words. Note it down. 12.5 mark. 12.5 mark. 200 words. 200 to 225. 15 mark. 250 to 275. 20 mark. 300 to maximum 330. Always confined to this. It should be up to 150 words. Sometimes if 140 words, if you are able to satisfy the evaluator, good, well and good. But don't write blah blah. This is what another thing aspirant would commit mistake. For example, if they knew a question very well, they would go on to write for 300 words or 400 words for a 10 mark question. For that, the evaluator cannot give 20 marks for a 10 mark question. One. Second thing is, right, if they don't know, they would never write for a 20 mark question. You try to make up. That's why if you know very well, don't give too much of answer for a less answer and less mark question. right? Don't give any, at the same time, don't leave any questions if it is mark is much weight. It's a second important. So first is where your answer, that is the best answer. Second is this page limit, never say, because UPSC, right? It's depend on the aspirant. Some aspirants handwriting font size would be very less. Within a page itself, they would write for 150 words. One page is enough. Some people write word, each word sentence would be like this. For them, even 4 page, they would write for 150 words. So word limit is important, not the page limit. It's a second things, by heart it. And third, you come to right question. Today, rather than discussing the question, how to frame the question is important. These are all, note it down, by heart it. These are all the slogans of mains, because just clearing the prelims is useless and just studying is useless. That's why those who have not written the test, that's a first defeat for them, openly to say. If you didn't write the test, it's a first. It means that you reluctant to face. You are fearing about writing test. Whether right or wrong, show it you are wrong. Then only we could be able to correct. For example, if there is some wounds or some problem in your body, first you have to open it and you have to show it before the doctor. Then only medicine should be given. Some problem is there, but I would not open here. Mean, how would a doctor diagnose your problem? Then the problem would become bigger. That's all. Irreparable damages would come. First to show your problem, then only we could able easily solve, rectify it. So second is question. So question wise, 5 to 6 statement, assess, right? One by one we will discuss. The easiest question is elucidate. Easiest one. Explain. Note it down. Elucidate, explain. Or write an essay. This is the easiest question, because if it is asked, you have to vomit it. You just write it nearby. You have to vomit. Whatever you mug up it, you have to just vomit it. No need to give any analytical interpretation. Nothing is there. You have to just write what you have to study. No interpretation. Nothing is there. You have to write. Right? Explain about you. What kind of interpretation you have to do? My name is this. My father name is this. My mother name is this. I qualified this. These are all factual information. Am I right? This is what elucidate, explain, or write an essay. This is the easiest question set. Next is analyze. Set is analyze, assess, evaluate. Analyze, assess, evaluate. Right. Actually, here in this, you have to give both positive as well as negative. Positive and negative point. Positive point may be less, negative point may be less, one may be more, one may be less. That is immaterial. Analyze. Simple. Analyze the character. Analyze your character. Sir, I am short temper, sir. Right? Always this addict. Always that addict. But at the same time, I am a good orator, sir. So many people, I am a good orator in this world. That's a positive. Positive may be more, negative may be more. That's all. Analyze it. Right? In that sense, you should not, my name is this, my father name is this, immaterial. They never ask any factual information. While writing the story, you may write, right, I am characteristics like this, because in my name itself, you see that strongness is there. My name is this. While giving that analyze, you have to give here and there, you have to give factual. But here, they need more factual, but here, less factual. Very, very less, you have to give plus minus. Okay. This is a second set. And next, if you come, comment. Critically examine.
critically examine. Right. If you come to comment, right, here also plus and minus, but in this you should give your minus. In this analyze and evaluate, sometimes you may not give minus. If no minus is there, not at all a matter. But comment and critically examine means you should dominate of minus. It's simply criticize. Critical mean criticize. You have to scold the person. You should not praise the person. You have to scold it. Because in my state, since I'm in Tamil Nadu, in my state, one of the topmost TNPSC Group 1 exam is there. In that evaluation, critically examine, right? What is the Tamil translation in that? Gandhiயை பத்தி திட்டுக. இதுதான் this is what the question. And since you are from Tamil Nadu, you can critically examine Gandhiji. You have to scold Gandhiji. No, sir, Gandhiji is not at all. He is the person dragged the getting of independence. Otherwise, India would have got independence in 1920. In the name of Ahimsa Satyagraha, he dragged the independence till 1947. He was against modernization. He always said village, rural economy. If it is he is not at all in favor of industrialization. He in backward, that is a ruralization. Likewise, you have to criticize it. That's what critical examine means. Comment means you have to. Right. And another is comment. Comment is very easy. Daily we are doing it. Both boys and girls are doing. If boys see a girl, comment, she is good. She is not good. The girls, he is fine. Even the beard he had, I like that person. It's based on different. Some girls would like mustache. Right. Some girls would not like mustache. Likewise. Comment, it's very easy because daily we are doing it the same thing. Even if a boy wears specs, the specs is super. He's like actor Vijay, or he's like an actor like that. But some girls would not like a boy specs. It's a putty. It's not at all old age boy. Comment wise different. Commenting. So in this way you would not feel difficulties, right? So comment and critical examine. You should definitely should give negatives. And last word with this I conclude. Examine. You see that here examine, here evaluate. These two words are critical, very important. Right, here you have to give negative and positive, but whenever examine or evaluate mean you should come to conclusion. In these two you have to come to conclusion. Because you have to say positive, you have to say negative, at last you have to come to conclusion. It may be either positive conclusion or negative conclusion. Simple. What your evaluator do? If the question is, if you right answer, right, what if it is a right answer, I will put tick and give mark. If it is wrong, I put cross and 0 mark I will put it. So I am giving positive command as well as negative. At last, out of 100, 50 marks, good. Overall evaluation. Out of 100, 10 marks, very bad. You have to improve. So evaluator, what evaluator do? He examines both positive and negative, and at last give either positive conclusion or negative conclusion. That's what examiner. What an examiner do? Very bad, very good, excellent. Likewise, you have to do it. That's all. So with this, if you don't know these things, right? And another thing, write an essay. Otherwise, here itself is write an account. So either write an essay or write an account. Account means the same thing. What is there in your account? What are all the debt? What are all the credit? You have to just say write an account is equal to write an essay. I hope I almost completed all kind of starting word of your question. It's a third. And fourth is answer structure. So this is what both for mains GS as well as for optional. Right, answer structure. Right, listen. Here slightly varies of this. Right, based on question you have to, right. If it is 10 mark question, because and 12 mark question, 10 and 12 mark question are short questions, maximum 200 words. Right, what you have to do is intro. Right. Never write intro. Some people would write intro. No need to write it. It's like in your college days, while writing of the record notes, introduction, conclusion. No need. Always consider first paragraph is introduction. So no need to give intro. First paragraph, whatever you are writing as the first paragraph is the introduction. Just above that, don't write intro. Don't want. Okay. Otherwise, no sir. I am habitual of writing intro mean altogether 10 question here. Out of 10 question, 2 questions you write it. If it is 20 question, in UPSC they would ask 20 question, maximum 4 question. Maximum 4 question, you deliberately write introduction and last conclusion. Otherwise, always you consider first paragraph is introduction paragraph. No need to write the headline like introduction. Okay. Right. Now you come to the introduction part. What is about the introduction part? Is, listen, introduction is none other than simple explaining of the question. Simple explanation about the question. If I go through the introduction, I should come to know that yes, this student understood the question. So understanding the question is introduction. Right. So keep it in mind. Simple explanation. Otherwise, you do one thing. Yeah, you go to your state board book and NCERT book. Each chapter is there. In each chapter, first they have given introduction. If you see the introduction, in the introduction itself, they would tell that what the subsequent paragraph in the chapter. Themselves would say. Your 10th standard, 9th standard state board book would say. Especially Tamil Nadu state board is there, book is there, excellent is there. If you just to go through Tamil Nadu textbook, state book, 9th standard, 10th, 11th, 12th, in that itself, each chapter, the first paragraph itself is introduction, what the entire chapter contains, what you are going to do, what is the aim of this chapter or the paragraph, introduction. So introduction is simple understanding of this. Okay. 1. Normally, what a student would commit is introduction, right? Normally, a student would repeat the question. So don't repeat the question. If a question is there, they would just remove. Explain means they would remove the explain. Remaining part, they just copy paste. Don't do that. Don't repeat the question. For example, if you see the first question in our test, ascendancy of British in India was an accidental than deliberate. What a student would write is, yes, ascendancy of British in India was an accident than a deliberate. Question is there, you just included the word yes. You don't want how the question and how you have to write. What is the things? Right, British came to India as a trader in 1600. But due to socio-political economic situation, especially after the death of Aurangzeb, they gradually started to capture India. By 1857, why 1857 means before the Great Revolt. By 1857, they captured most part of India. That's all. Okay. If the evaluator go through, yes, these students completely understood the arrival of Europeans, that is the British. So I have written 1600. I'm right in the introduction part. In that introduction part itself, I mentioned about Aurangzeb, after the death of Aurangzeb. No need of the year. And I have mentioned about the Great Revolt. Yes, the student knew very well. Up to 1600 to 1707, they were the trader. After that, only the British started to rise. Am I right? In the question, I answered ascendancy of the British. Ascendancy of the British man after Aurangzeb. Over. Not even a single word I have copied it from the question. But I answered the question in a simplest way in the introduction part itself. This is the way of writing. Right? Otherwise, you come to the 12th question. You see that last question? Home rule movement was a new impetus to the national movement in 20th century. Simple thing. 1900. Rise of nationalism in India. Moderates, extremists, Gandhian phase are the various method of national movement. In that, one of the movement is Home Rule movement, started in 1916 and 17 by Annie Besant. That's all. This is the way you have to answer it. So try to avoid repetition of question. That's all. So this is what. And second paragraph onwards, you try to answer your core. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Right. Maximum. Yeah, sorry. Right. This one. Last paragraph, 3 to 4 lines, conclusion part. Okay. Conclusion, as far as possible for history, try to give future things. You give the conclusion. For example, Home Rule movement 1916-17. But the conclusion, because of the Home Rule movement, when Gandhiji came to the national movement in 1917, right, Gandhiji effectively utilized the Home Rule movement and its leader, and Gandhiji started his mass movement and ultimately independence. In that way, though the question is related to Home Rule movement, you extended your answer at the conclusion part till 1947. This is the way you have to answer, right? And last structure is try to give some diagram. That's why in my classroom session itself, I have given so many diagrams, right? Not for time passing. You should evaluate that one, emulate that one, and you have to reproduce such a thing in the exam, right? So this is innovation. If you put a diagram, mark will be given more mark would be given, because innovation, more mark, not for vomiting as such. That's all. With this, we are entering into the question. I hope almost structure wise I mentioned it. Diagram should be there. 12 question is there. Out of 12 questions, 6 question, 50% of the answers should have the question should have the diagrams. Yes. With this, we shall directly enter into these questions. First, the ascendancy of the British in India was an accidental than a deliberately formulated policy. Yes, here the statement. So statement is accident. Am I right? Accidental rise. This is what the question. But the question is critically examine, mean you have to write both positive and negative. What is positive? Yes, it is accident. If you write like this, that is favorable to the question, positive aspect of the question. No, it is not accident, it is deliberate. Because this is the keyword. British rise was accident. Critically examine means yes or no. And last, examine is there. Examine means what? You have to give conclusion. You have to end with it is an accident or deliberate. In that way, you have to conclude it. This is what the structure. Right, now I come to if don't give so many factual information. If you give factual information, marks will be reduced. Rather than understand the question, try to give very easy. Very easy. Right, what are all the accident. Right, how it is accident is, listen, 1600, keep it in mind, right? 1600 to 1740 is not at all. They never touched political. Only after 1740s, that is Carnatic War onwards, they touched the political. If you see that, listen, in the Carnatic War, if you see whether British waged war at first or Dublé waged war, mean Dublé. So initially it was accident. How? Carnatic War. Who actually Carnatic War's responsible mean Dublé. So British didn't attack Pondicherry. Rather than Dublé attacked Madras at first because of Austrian War of Succession. So British never expected. Now British forced to defend themselves. So it is accident. Even Arcade War also accident. British never wanted to interfere in Arcade. It is Dublé wanted to interfere. Taken? It's a second important. And the third is, even some says that Battle of Plassey and Buxar. Listen, whether British wanted Battle of Plassey? No, they didn't want. What happened is they wanted to remove Siraj-ud-Dowla by some other, right? It means that they instigated. They never wanted direct war. These are all interpretative aspect. but Siraj sent a force, attacked Calcutta, Black Hole episode. That Black Hole episode forced the British to wage Plassey. One second, third point is even Buxar. It is interpretation. Keep it in mind. Third is even at Buxar, what happened? What led to Buxar mean? Mir Qasim did something or away after Dastak. That couldn't be digested. That's why British waged war. Even you see that right, British wanted to wage war only against Mir Qasim. But at the end, what happened? Not only Mir Qasim, Shuja Uddawla as well as Shah Alam too, all joined together. British never expected. Actually, in the Buxar, British wanted to fight only against Mir Qasim, but the surprise, all the three, other side is the Buxar, that's at a company at Buxar, it is a surprise. So initially, it seemed to be accident. Yes, sir. Initial rise of British accident. Favorable point of accident I mentioned. But how can you say accidents are later? How would you say subsidiary alliance as an accident? It is a deliberate policy of the British. It's a deliberate policy. How would you say doctrine of lapse as an accident? It is a rascal policy. It's a deliberism. That is, Dalhousie wanted to annex the territory, itching for annexation. How rascalism is this? Doctrine of misgovernance. Were they accident policy? No. Dalhousie itching for Awadh region, he couldn't apply doctrine of lapse. That's why he entered a doctrine of misgovernance. You have to give overall approach. I don't want Buxar here. I don't want Plassey here. Here, don't explain three Carnatic wars. Useless for mains. Overall idea, that's enough. Because I committed in the first mains these things. Right, Carnatic war, if the word is there, I would write all the Carnatic war. What is the purpose? That's why I'm saying, for prelims alone, you have to study wars and other line by line. For mains, it's a overall aspect. Easiest one in the mains. And at last, you have to write it. Yes, it is not accidental. It seemed to be accident, but it is a deliberate one. This is the way of writing. General explanation. Right, I will send one or two students, especially history optional student, topper this year. I will send, right, he scored 317 or 380 last year. For modern India things, I will send to you just to go through that. How did he write? Right, general explanation is enough. It's a first. Second, I hope there's no doubt regarding this. Right, next, Battle of Plassey confirmed the British victory at Buxar. Right, simple thing. In this, you should know Battle of Plassey and Buxar. Here, explanation is why Battle of Plassey, why Battle of Buxar. You should not write like this. Right, simple thing. What happened at the end of the Battle of Plassey? How Battle of Plassey, right, is helpful for the British to get victory in Buxar. Here, if you write why, that complete statement of thus the fortification and other thing, no marks will be given. So keep it in mind. Study the question, write accordingly. Answer should be based on question. Right, listen, that's why my statement, you write it. Write answer based on question. Don't write answer based on what do you know. Right, because 12th standard in graduation you will do like this. We would not go through the question entirely. Rather than Battle of Plassey, okay, confirmed that British victory at Buxar. So two keyword, Plassey, Buxar, right? Battle of Plassey. Why? Siraj came to power. Destruction of fort. Then bribed these people. Battle of Plassey. Then why Buxar? Dastak. Who wants that one? This is the biggest difference between what you have written in that college days and school days and in competitive exam. Okay, so here Battle of Plassey, right, listen, In Battle of Plassey in 1757, you see that Siraj was killed and who became the ruler? Mir Jafar. Right? What Mir Jafar did after Battle of Plassey, how Battle of Plassey's consequence helped the British at Battle of Buxar. That's all. How Plassey helped Buxar. That's all. Is Mir Jafar. Am I right? So first thing, after Battle of Plassey, the British indirectly controlled the Bengal, not direct control. Indirectly controlled the Bengal. Simple words enough. Right? Indirect control means its economy as well as ruler. Its economy as well as ruler. Am I right? Who was the ruler? Mir Jafar. Mir Jafar did all the favoritism to the British. It's a 12.5 mark question. Then 200 words you can write a lot. Okay. Mir Jafar did all the favoritism. And economy wise, right, it is Bengal provided all the money to the British. I used the word drain of wealth. Am I right? Bengal provided all the money. After Plassey, Bengal was at the disposal of the British, both politically and economically. Mir Jafar, that British nominee puppet, so British freely did anything. They can do anything because ruler can't ask anything, and they started to exploit it. Do you know? By using the Bengal money after Plassey only, they used it in Carnatic. By using the Bengal money after Plassey only, they used to get victory at the Buxar against the three great rulers. So Bengal provided money to the British expansion. Not only at Buxar, even Mysore also, Bengal provided. For Maratha expansion also, for all the further expansion, which provided energy to the British is Bengal, because fertile region. Bengal is known for well fertile region and commercial activity. That's why even historian would say, if British didn't conquer Bengal at first, it is difficult for them to conquer entire India, because which provided economic help to rise military, everything is Bengal provided. Bengal is the energy, source of energy for the British. Am I right? So complete amount they used it. By using that, they got victory in Buxar. Why I am saying Buxar is, Plassey is not at all a great battle. It is a betrayal. But Buxar is hard-won battle. British needed huge resource. They need great soldiers. They have to recruit it. Then which provided money? Bengal. That's why. At Plassey, you don't want money because already bribed. It is just a skirmish. It's a fist fighting, not full-fledged war. But Buxar, it's a full-fledged war against the three ruler. How did British get victory win? Since they had a stronghold at the Bengal after Plassey, that's the reason. Enough. This is enough. But you should not confine with this. Right? Plassey, listen, confirmed the victory at Buxar. But how you have to conclusion is, the victory at Buxar confirmed the British victory of India. In that way, you have to think out of box. So Plassey victory confirmed at Buxar. Am I right? So Plassey confirmed the victory at Buxar, and victory at Buxar confirmed the British victory in subsequent war. Mysore war, Maratha war, Sindh war, Punjab war, and conquest of India. In that way, sometimes some student would think out of box. This is innovation. For this, mark would be given. Normally, a student would confine to Plassey and Buxar. You go beyond that. Yes. Any doubt in these two questions? Yes, yes. Supriyo,
Good morning, sir.
morning.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Actually, the first question means, if we give the conclusion like this, while the entry of the British through Plassey can be put to debate for being an accidental affair, the subsequent chain of events post Boxer looks more organized and planned.
Yes. Deliberate means most organized. Then another name of the deliberation is most organized and planned.
Yes, sir. Sir, what I am trying to know from you is that means can I give the conclusion here? I given the conclusion mixed means Plastic can be a means accidental affair, but post boxer it looks organized. Means I have not given any means direct conclusion. Means I have given it is a mixture of both the means both the types. Means accidental. I can give both, right?
Yes, definitely you can give.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, for first question, sir, can I mention this in for saying yes, it is accident? For that, can I give the reasons for like Portuguese awarded Bombay as dowry, and then Farooq Siyar for months? Can I add that, sir?
Add that also, definitely.
Okay, sir. And for second question, can I say that in most of the features, that is advantages given by Mir Jafar, which later formed the foundation for subsidiary alliance. So the British will be very confident at the Battle of Buxar, because there was a spy like Ram Narayan was there in Mir Jafar's court.
Definitely, if Ram Narayan and some other Subedar, Deputy Subedar, if you write, definitely that's welcome.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I didn't say if I did like that include like that factual information, it would be like optional. That's why you can write Ram Narayan also. Next.
Sir, good morning, sir. Sir, my doubt is, sir, you said that Battle of Plassey, the drain of wealth theory confirmed victory at Buxar, sir. Why can't we say the mobilization of forces from Madras, that too in a quick time, showed the British capability to harness forces, and also choosing of the right commander? Could that be included, sir?
Actually, that all for Plassey.
Sir, that's what I mean.
Actually, it is based on your how you are taking your answer to for the suitability of this question. Then it's okay. How you are taking your answer? You mentioned 1 or 2 points. How you are written in that for the suitability of this answer? Then it's good. Your answer is right. Your point is right. But how far is it suitable to the question? It's based on your way of presentation.
So, could that be included, sir? Could that be taken as a point, sir, for this question?
For the suitability of the answer.
Okay, sir. My next doubt is, sir, in the first question, you said that we need to give a proper conclusion when it is critically examined. So that means for the British, both accident as well as deliberated policy only help them. No, sir. Accident help them to ascend the throne, but policies help them to sustain the throne. So that means a combination is required, no, sir.
Yeah, combination is required. That's why at last you mixed it, because initially it seems to be accident, but ultimately it is deliberate. It's more deliberate than accident. Initially alone it's an accident. Otherwise it seems to be accident, but it's not accident. It's a deliberate.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next.
Morning, sir. Sir, for the first question, what I did was I brought overall view of British, like from the trade. As you said, I brought from 1600s to how did they rise in India, how they administered, like you said about the with war, without war battles. So from all, I didn't mention deeply, but I took an overall view and brought a conclusion that it was accidental, but although through these thing it was deliberately, so I brought like that. Could that be
Here you should not much mention about your trading body. Till 1740 you should not write much, because 1600 to 1740 that's a trading body. Maximum a paragraph you can write, 4 lines you can write up to 1740s, right? From 1740s onwards up to 1800 is, if you see, it seems to be or 1770s, it seems to be accident, then deliberate. So here much less point to this, and maximum 2 paragraph to this, and 4 paragraph from 1800 to 1857.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So
So
could I bring that overall view, sir? How it tries, how it administered, that and all could I bring?
without substantiating either accident or deliberate, if it simply write British came to India and initially trading body, later this war and that war, without writing this is accident, this is deliberate, your answer is incomplete. You are just omitted the requirement of the question.
Okay, sir.
Right? Yes.
Okay, sir. And the second question, what I did was, as you said, stick to the question. What I explained what is, I mean, how Battle of Plassey led to the Buxar. As the Madras, from the Madras, all the army came, no, sir. That's all I confined to it because you said, and before question, just stick to question. Should we write, like you said, it leads to the expansion of all the wars like Carnatic. Should we also include that also?
Just as, one or max paragraph. Write the explanation
Okay, sir.
part of the war.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Next.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. This is Shivaranjini. Sir, என்னோட first query வந்துட்டு first questionல வந்துட்டு I have just divided into historians. One வந்து John Seeley group, another one is Macaulay group. John Seeley group supported this theory of accidental. அது அப்படி எழுதலாமா sir? Like
Okay.
bringing historians into this.
Many people are there, even West Bengal, other are there. What is her
Sorry.
is, she tried to give some historians, right? Normally to a question like critically examine, better to avoid historian's name. Where you have to write the historian names is, there are certain questions you definitely should use the historian's name, especially here. 1 minute. Analyze. In that you can use historian's name. Right? Analyze, in that you can use historian's name, and even comment also you can avoid it. Analyze, assess, here you can use historian. Critically examine, okay, one historian view, because okay, one historian, but don't write so many historians name, not advisable.
I can give it in a diagram, like one group supported this accidental stuff and another group supported this deliberate stuff.
Yeah, you can write, but don't elaborate what they said.
Okay, sir. Sir, another question is, for second question you said stick to the question, and for home rule movement you brought up to 1947, sir. Should I stick to the question, or I can just wander like that?
Actually, you can wander that, but some students, why I'm saying is, some students would try to elaborate what are all the causes for Plassey. 2 to 3 paragraph, useless. Your causes of Plassey, just 4 lines or 3 lines is enough. You no need to write it per paragraph after paragraph of causes of Plassey. If you written 3 to 4 paragraph, then useless. 50 words are over. For 200 words, 50 words are over, no marks would be given. So maximum Battle of Plassey, 1 paragraph, 4 lines over. Then you should immediately come to the question.
And in this home rule movement, won't they think that I have written unnecessary thing because they have just asked for home rule? Shouldn't I just confine to home rule, sir? தேவையில்லாம நிறைய எழுதி இருக்குன்னு நினைக்க மாட்டாங்க.
Come to home rule, question is different. What is the question is, it gave new impetus to the national movement. They not just ask the home rule alone. Home rule gave new impetus. Means Sivaranjani is there. Birth of Sivaranjani is new impetus to her home. Means சிவரஞ்சனி பிறந்தது மட்டும் எழுதக்கூடாது. சிவரஞ்சனி பிறந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் வீட்டில் என்னென்ன நல்ல காரியெல்லாம் நடந்தது ஃபியூச்சர்லாம் எழுதணும். அங்க கொஸ்டின் வேற.
Impetus meaning தெரியல.
அதான் நியூ இம்பீட்டஸ்னா நியூ எனர்ஜி டு த நேஷனல் மூவ்மெண்ட். Home rule movement, after that new energy. What are all the new energy? Gandhian energy, revolutionary energy and all. It right after Surat session, Congress didn't work. At the time, who gave new energy is home rule. Here question, in that question, home rule movement alone is not the answer. 50% home rule movement, 50% other activity.
I got it, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in the first question இருக்குல்ல sir. Sir,
Yeah.
ascendance of British in India அப்படிங்கிறப்போ பிரிட்டிஷ் பவருக்கு வந்தது அந்த ஆக்சிடென்ட்டா இல்லைன்னா பவர் கடைசி வரை வச்சிருந்தது வந்து ஆக்சிடென்ட் அப்படி இருக்கிறாங்களா சார்? பவருக்கு வந்தது அப்படின்னு பார்க்கும்போது ஆக்சிடென்ட்டா தானே சார் வந்திருக்காங்க, அப்படி எழுத முடியாது?
சப்போர்ட் பண்ணலாம், தாராளமா பண்ணலாம். ஏன்னா கிரிட்டிக்கல் எக்ஸாமின் தான். நீங்க எப்படி பண்ணலாம்னா எப்படி கிரிட்டிக்கல்னு கேட்டதுனால நீங்க கொஞ்சம் நெகட்டிவ் எழுதணும் கண்டிப்பா. ஏன்னா இதெல்லாம் அக்செப்டட். அது வந்து ஆக்சிடென்டல் கிடையாது, கண்டிப்பா கிடையாது, அது எல்லாருக்குமே தெரியும்.
அப்படியே சார். இல்ல நான் என்ன எழுதுனேன்னா ரெனைசன்ஸ் வந்துருது, அங்க வந்து எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க, அப்படி ஒரு ஆக்சிடென்டலா வந்து அமெரிக்காவுக்கு வந்து ரெண்டாவது போனாங்க, அதுக்கடுத்து ரெண்டாவது லேசர் ஸ்பேர் மூலமா வந்தாங்க, அதுக்கடுத்து பேட்டில் ஆஃப் பிளாசி நடக்கும்போது இங்க கர்நாடிக் வார் நடந்தது, ஒரே இடத்துல 2 வார் நடந்துட்டு இருக்குது, அடுத்து இங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய முச்சுவல் ஜீலஸ் ரூலர்ஸ், இதனாலதான் வந்து அவங்க வந்து ஒரு பவருக்கான ஒரு சிஸ்டுக்கு வராங்க அப்படின்னு போட்டிருக்கேன் சார்.
தாராளமா எழுதலாம். these are all valid points. அது வேலிட் பாயிண்ட்ஸ் தான். வந்துட்டு கடைசி ஆக்சிடென்ட்
சரி சார்.
ஆன்சர் அப்படித்தானே இருக்கு.
நான் ஃபுல்லா ஆக்சிடென்ட்னு தான் சார் போட்டிருக்கேன்.
ஓகே, அதோட
ஏன்னா இது வந்து क्वेश्चन என்ன புரியல சார். ஒண்ணு பவருக்கு வந்தது வந்து ஆக்சிடென்ட், இல்ல கடைசி வரை பவரை வச்சுக்கிட்டது வந்து வரும்போது ஆனா ஆக்சிடென்ட் தான் வந்திருக்காங்க, ஆனா அதுக்கு அடுத்து தானே பிளான் பண்ணிருக்காங்க சார், அப்படி நினைச்சிருக்கேன்.
கடைசி வரைக்கும் கான்ஃபர் பண்ற வரைக்கும்,
கடைசி வரை வந்து நினைச்சுக்கோங்க சார்.
வரைக்கும்.
சரி சார், தேங்க்யூ சார்.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, yes.
Sir, for the first question, only we should write up 1857. We should not write up 1947. So means after the tribals, peasants, rivers, we should not write, sir.
No, you should not write. Because their question is British ascendancy. That's all. How did British conquer India? How did British become a Indian power ruler? 1857. After that, one line. After 1857, they sustained it till 1947. That's enough. You should not elaborate.
Means I thought up to 1857. Means I thought up to 1857 it was a rising British rise, and after that I continued to write up 1947. Just I not write deeply, sir. But I wrote just briefly about 1947 because of British. These were the revolts, so we should not write that.
Rise after 1857. After 1857, started the council in the name of national, because they got problem after problem in the name of national.
So for the second question, so can we write for the second question after Battle of Buxar, a dual system of government was formed as it was failure? We can write those points.
That's all not necessary here. After Buxar, straight away.
Yes.
Plassey is helping for victory of Buxar. Buxar is helping, because after Buxar, dual government is negative to the British. You can't write dual government system. So at the victory, what happened? They got administration of that is positive. That you not right to go into dual government system. Company became bankrupt, and you are trying a negative of.
Sir, your voice is getting cut, right? I'm not able to hear you, sir.
You should not write dual government. That we don't want to do this one.
Then what means up to after writing Battle of Buxar, due to Battle of Buxar, the British government came into power. We can write that's it, sir.
After Battle of Buxar, British started to influence North India, then Mysore War, then Maratha, then all that Plassey Buxar impact played a vital. Plassey impact, Buxar victory. Buxar victory had an impact on all other, and it's like a domino effect. Started to the class like House of Cards, one after another Indian ruler. Because in the Buxar itself, Mughal ruler was defeated. Likewise, you also rather than showcasing the British.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next, Sahana.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Morning.
I have the doubt in first question, sir. Sir, can we write about the war of secession in the native rulers, sir, between the native rulers, like divide and rule policy of British?
One line or two line. On the way, you can mention.
Okay, sir.
3 lines. So one of the
Okay,
points.
sir. Then can we write about the initial acceptance of a slave treatment of a British in the Pearson, sir?
Yeah, that's a one word. One line or two line. You should not explain that one. Okay. Yes.
Okay, sir. Sir, another one, sir. As they thought about the Indians, like they can't rule the whole India like that, so they developed about the Western education and Western culture. So this point can we add in the question, sir?
No, that we don't want. How can you write like that? Ascendancy, accidental, either deliberate mean you just can write it after conquering this. They introduced Western elements for further conquering India. In that way, you can add, but you should not elaborate of the education system and other. Got it?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. That's all, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Next, Anusha.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I had a question regarding the introduction of an answer. You said that we should write it in simple words and like as if we are understanding the question. But my doubt is, should we be very creative, almost like an essay? So we're sort of like introducing our answer in the first paragraph. Should it be very creative and
No.
we should use, you know?
Creative things like this. Just take the keyword, underline the keyword, try to explain the keyword, or try to explain the keyword. That's enough.
Okay, sir. Sir, and in this second question, sir, while we're explaining the answer, should we so we take one fact that will support the answer, and you said don't add too many facts, no, sir. But if we it's in my second question, I've added a couple of facts in between to support the reason. Will it look very boring or dull, the answer, sir, or should I avoid the facts?
No, you can write fact, but don't flood with too much of factual information. Maximum, if it is a page, maximum you just to go through 3 or 4 information, one or two personalities. That's enough, rather than flooding with the factual information.
Okay, sir. And just one more question. Sir, when we are writing any answer relating to like a revolutionary movement or something, and there's like there is a list of events that happened. In your notes, you have given it as aim, method of struggle, and things like that. Can we reproduce it like that in the answer, or we should just write it in paragraphs?
It's based on question. For example, write an essay of revolutionary nationalism mean you can just reproduce what I have written. Okay,
Okay, sir.
rather than analyze the nature of revolutionary nationalism means at the time if you simply write name method of struggle mean you will not be given score. The same answer, but you have to write like paragraph, and it's like a mingling and jingling words and mixing based on question and
Okay,
first.
sir. So for anything that is explain or assess or something like that, we should write it in paragraphs.
Yes. Yeah, if it's like this, explain, account, what do you know means aim, method of struggle. That's enough. Analyze, critically examine. You should not write like this. Rather than you have to do mixed words of things. rather than it's not to be the as such. Actually, to take time.
So it is okay to use.
Come based on practice. If you write a 4 to 5 test, yourself would come to know.
Okay, sir. And so it is okay to use subheadings and things like underlining subheadings and then.
I said you should not write intro, but I never said you should never do underline or subheadings. Apart from intro conclusion, other part you can give subheadings. Some definitely you can give.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
So can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I just in that first question I gave introduction, and then two subheadings I gave. One is rise of British accidentally, then deliberately. So in that accidentally, my perspective was different, sir. So I wrote weak rulers, rivalry between the kingdoms, decentralized a huge kingdom, so which led to the formation of a regional kingdom.
Okay.
Then kingdoms also have a lack of knowledge about industrial revolution.
Okay.
Then no formal navy. So these were the things I gave.
Yeah. And
in the conclusion, I gave synchronicity is inevitable. So the time plays a major role that ultimately raised the British in India till 1947.
Okay. Within that, you have to give some information like doctrine of lax misgovernance, subsidy alliance, Maratha War.
In policy, I gave everything. So doctrine of lapse, subsidiary arguments.
And it's fine.
And in second question, I just have a doubt regarding in Battle of Plassey, Robert Clive used a diplomatic skill, and Battle of Buxar, he used a military skill. So like that, this extra point can be added.
Exactly, that's the right one. Perfect answer.
And in one article, I just read one line which it was really attractive, so I just used in my answer.
Yeah.
So I just said the British owned seed in Plassey, which flowered in Buxar.
Super.
So that's all. Thank you, sir.
Good answer. Yes.
Sir? So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sir, my doubt is, sir, when we write the body of an answer, is it like, should we write 2 or 3 points and explain that once, or should we give 5 or 6 points in just single sentences? So which is more suitable?
Actually, you should not write abrupt answer. Some student would just give information and 2 lines. Next 2 lines. This is like vomiting. You should not give unless until explain. Write an essay.
Okay, sir.
Actual. But maximum they would not give like this. Evaluate. What do you know? Means at least you just write that information and try to explain or analyze it at least for 3 to 4 lines. Then next 3 to 4 lines. Next 3 to 4 lines. If it is 10 mark question, 5 such information. If it is 15 mark question, 8 to 10 such information. Number of paragraphs should be increased because number of words are increased. Don't just give.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, for example, if that in that comparison question between Gandhiji and Ambedkar, I have given the heading, subheading like mode of development or India's development, and I've written Gandhiji, he focused on village-centered development, and Ambedkar focused on industrial and economic development. So that is enough, no, sir?
Yeah,
just that subheading and just.
Yeah. I will come.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Then I have a doubt on 5th question also, sir. I think you will be discussing.
Yeah, I will discuss. Yes, we will discuss. We will discuss about that. Yes.
Hello, sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Sir, what will happen if I write more than the given what's in the answer writing, sir? Does the UPC decrease the marks in the, sir?
They would, if not, what I come to know is, if you exceed the word limit, right, whatever you have written after that, it will be strike. Even though that is the right answer. That's the biggest difference.
Okay, sir.
That's why I'm saying
Thank
it.
you, sir.
Within the word limit, your own stories. At last, you try to give answer. If it exceeds too much of word limit, they would simply strike and they would move on to next one. Question.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think why? Yes, put your right. Because almost all the students would have written the first two questions. Then third, fourth, might right. Discuss the measures of Cornwallis and its impact. Actually, this is the direct question. Right here, Cornwallis. The year should be there. Right. What are all the measures? In the classroom, I have given so many measures, but in different chapters. Simple. What are all the measures? Measures may not necessarily to be administrative measures alone. Even third war of Mysore, that was also a measure. So what all the Cornwallis measure mean? You split into so many things, right? And you have to give paragraph wise. Here you can write like some factual information. One is British expansion. Yes, his measure. What is the measure? Third Mysore war. Third Mysore war and suppressing Tipu. So 3 line over. Am I right? First measure. Second measure is land revenue system. What land revenue system? Permanent system. That is Zamindari system. He only introduced. No need to explain what is Zamindari system. Here to this question immaterial. So 1 mark for British expansion, 1 mark for land revenue system, 1 or 2 marks. Right. Next is civil service. 1 or 2 marks. Next is judicial service, because he was the person, right, separated judiciary and civil services. And what happened is officers were appointed. Here district judges were appointed. Right. This is the measure. And next measure is Cornwallis code. It's a new thing. So that you note it down. Cornwallis code. What code mean? Civil code. That is civil procedure code. Right. Criminal procedure code. Criminal procedure code, not present day, it S12, Cornwallis time. So civil code, procedural code, criminal procedural code, this I have not given in the classroom session. You note it down. Cornwallis code is very important. Right, this is the fifth measure. Fifth measure I have not given, note it down. Sixth measure is he reduced the corruption among the company servants. This I have not given. He reduced the corruption among the, actually today is also class. Extra points means I will give, okay? Corruption. How did he reduce the corruption mean? By increasing the salary of the company servant. So he is the person who wanted to reduce the corruption. What he did, he increased that salary to 3-fold to the company. Because Robert Clive and Warren Hastings were the corrupted person, he wanted to avoid, so he reduced the corrupt practice of the company. This much of measures Cornwallis took it. Okay, this is one part of the question. So question is not just the Cornwallis alone. First is measure of the Cornwallis. Right, 100 words are over. 6 points you have given. 6 points you have given, yeah. 6 points each. 1 mark means 6 marks are over here itself. Then you come to the next page, impact. Impact you have to write at least for 50 to 70 words. So after Cornwallis only, right, impact. After Cornwallis only, British rise, actual rise, companies rise in India. Am I right? The same thing I have given in the Bengal kingdom itself. Why? Because of Robert Clive, corrupted person, bankrupt, dual government system. Warren Hastings period, bankrupt, because himself was a second-rated corrupted person. That's why Regulating Act and Pitt India Act. So it was only with the arrival of Cornwallis, after Cornwallis measure only, companies started to rise. So only with the measures of Cornwallis, company's position thereafter started to rise and reached peak by 1857 because almost occupied it. So real developer of the company is Cornwallis. It's a 4 lines. Next important is He was the person who introduced racial discrimination. Note it down. This point I have not given. He introduced racial discrimination. Actually, Cornwallis never liked Indian. Cornwallis was the person unofficially, officially he never introduced, unofficially introduced the racial discrimination. So how did racial discrimination mean? Europeanization of Indian civil services. Use this word. This is preliminary question. Europeanization of Indian civil service. This is prelims question. In mains and optional history, this word should be there, right? So all the Europeans, right, to the civil service, Indians were excluded. This is the highest racial discrimination, and the concept of racial discrimination unofficially was introduced by Cornwallis. Understood? And next, because of Cornwallis, financial stability happened. Financial stability. Why financial stability mean? Because of permanent landowning system, that is Jamindari system, financial stability. How many points? Here 6 points, Cornwallis measure, and impact 4 points. It's like alag. It's a separate way you have to fix it. Sir, this is the point. This is the point. I would not write beyond the question. What you ask, take it. Give me mark. That's enough. If you feel I am deviating from the answer, you just stop it and go on to next point. These are all the measures, and some of the measures are very brand new. Even in the class note itself, I have not given. Next, fourth. Here, fourth question. What do you know of? Actually, what do you know of? It's wrong. What do you know of commercialization of Indian agriculture and its consequences? Right. Here is two kind of. First 100 words is exclusively of commercialization. What is commercialization? What are all the various things of commercialization, and what's its impact? That things we have to discuss about it. One is commercialization. Right. First thing, definition part. Introduction should be the definition. Definition. Right. What is commercialization? Simple definition. Without this definition, if you write, no marks. What is commercialization? Is right, cultivating cash crops instead of food crops. That's all over. Right. So that's the first one. Taken. So the first one is, what is commercialization means? Cash crops instead of food crops. What are all the cash crops? You should write tobacco, tea, coffee, jute, cotton. These are all the cash crops. 4 lines over. Right. Why British wanted commercialization? So what is commercialization of agriculture? Over. Why British wanted commercial? Yes, if you are not properly dressed without this t-shirt or shirt, you may disable your video. Without proper dress, don't appear here. Don't come before video. Yes. So here, this is the definition part. In number 1909, yes. Yes. So this is what the commercialization. Why commercialization means simple. Why do they need raw material? Means Britain got industrialized. For industrialized Britain, for factory, they need raw material. Especially cotton industry, they want cotton. Jute industry in British, they want jute, raw jute. Am I right? So for industrialized Britain, they want to make India as a farmhouse or a farmland. So what is commercialization? Why commercialization? Okay. How commercialization happened in India means introduction of railway. Note it down. So because of railway, Railway acted because railway took the raw material from all the part of India and through the ship it was sent to Britain first. Taken. Second, 1833 Charter Act, end of monopoly. 1833 Charter Act, end of monopoly. Actually, this is what the much difference between prelims and mains. In prelim, chapter after chapter. In mains, you have to go through all the chapter, cutting across, and you have to pick the answer from each chapter and suitable to your answer. Right. So here, how 1813 and 1833 means end of monopoly. Monopoly of trade of the British, that is English East India Company. So before 1813, only English East India Company alone did the trade with India. But after that, ABCD company or XYZ company, any company, right, could come to India. It means that further commercialization happened. Before that, only one party, English East India Company alone exploited commercialization of India. But after that, when monopoly was removed, all other companies started to invent. One is railway, second is end of monopoly. These are all the reasons. You have to write like this. Right? This is called the commercialization. Yes. What kind of impact it produced? Your answer should be very clear. Right? Question. What is commercialization? Why commercialization? Over. That's why I never ask question, what is commercialization? Rather than I ask a broad question, what do you know of commercialization mean? You have to write related to commercialization. Okay. What kind of impact? Right. What kind of impact it produced? If the question what kind of impact mean, just 2 lines or 3 lines. This is the impact 1. This is impact 2. This is impact 3. In that you no need of analysis. What is impact? Just you write and go on. What is the first impact? Is famine. Famine. Simple. Am I right? First impact famine. Why famine? Instead of food crops, cash crops means no food crops. No food crops means definitely famine would come. Over. Second, what is the impact here? If it is a commercialization, loss of soil fertility. Soil fertility. Actually, you are thinking that history seems to be, you have to write like this or here so and so. Simple words, you put it and selectively put it and write it. Because commercial crops would suck the soil fertility. Am I right? Food crops would not suck the soil fertility, but commercial crops would suck the soil fertility. So loss of soil fertility. Right? And third, agriculture became market. Agriculture became, no, don't write agriculture became market. Agriculture became a commercial activity. Actually, in India, agriculture is not a commercial. Agriculture is our life. But what happened because of commercialization, right? The peasants are linked with the market. It become the market-oriented economy rather than self-sufficient economy. This is the way of writing. Prelims and mains writing is different. Mains is very easy and very interesting to mention of this. Right? This is what the method. These are all right, and these are all important thing. That's all. These are all the impacts of the British. So famine at last, who were that net loser means Indians. Indians were the net losers. In that way, you have to write it. Each question is unique. Each word is important. Okay. Next. Give an account of Portuguese colonial enterprises in India. So what Portuguese did in India? Colonial enterprise. Right. In this, you have to give the diversified views of this. What kind of answer you would give of Portuguese colonial enterprise means 10 mark question, I think so. Right. Here 1453. This year should be there. After Constantinople. Simple. After Constantinople episode, voyage was started in Europe. Many in search of India, Asia. Vasco da Gama landed in 1948. That's all. Enough. No need to give What happened before 1453? Immaterial. I have given introduction. Am I right? Right. So Portuguese, right, 1498. After that, 1600. Listen, this keep it in mind. 1600 only Dutch, British, and other people. It means that for 100 years, 1500 to 1600, the Indian water was dominated by Portuguese. That is the next point. So brief intro you have given. For the next 100 years, right, Indian trade and Indian water body was controlled by a single European. That's the significance of Turkish and Arabs were there. They were not European. I am mentioning about the Europeans. Okay, for next 100 years, they controlled this. Understood? To have much control and to expel the Arabs and Turks, blue water policy. Here you should not write Vasco da Gama, what Vasco da Gama did. Don't vomit it. What I have given in that book. And what Alfonso de Albuquerque did it. Don't write one after another. You have to put like this. In that you have to write. So to control it and to expel it, blue water policy was given by Almeida. Likewise, you have to give it. It's like you have to put injection, but you should not get any pain. Likewise, you have to give information. It's a second, right? Third, because question is not governor general. Question is colonial enterprise. You have to write broad approach. And third, trade. Am I right? Trade wise, for what trade they came? Spice trade. They got the spice and sold it in Europe. That's what spice trade. Cardamom, clove, cinnamon, pepper, these things. So trade wise, spice. So they popularized Indian spice throughout the world, especially in Europe. And fourth is, we know they colonized Brazil. Am I right? So they introduced new crops. This is new point. 2018 and 2019 preliminary question. The only preliminary question which is repeated in 2018 and 19 is this. Every day we will study one or two new information. This is the only question in 2018 and 19. The new crops and food articles were introduced by the Portuguese. What are all the things? Tomato. Actually, Portuguese introduced. Potato. Portuguese introduced. Chili. Portuguese introduced. These are all the new. It was Portuguese introduced items. From which country is Brazil? Actually, these are all South American crops. South American crops. It is the Portuguese who introduced it. As such, if you go to 2018-19, this question is being asked. Understood? These are all important thing. And another is, right, marriage policy, because Alfonso de Albuquerque tried to make marriage policy. So many Portuguese are notable Portuguese settled in India. Best example, Goa. Best example, Goa. Am I right? Because even today you can see many Portuguese are there. And the sixth is, they were the first to introduce newspaper, printer. Modern printer. This is also their Portuguese colonial enterprise. Am I right? And the seventh one is Christian missionaries. So in the name of colonial enterprise, right, I never used trade enterprise, colonial enterprise, including trade and other. Right, Christian missionary. What missionary mean? Jesuit. Jesuit missionaries. Missionary of Jesus Christ. Jesuit missionary mean the great person, Ignatius Loyola is there. If you are a Christianity people, you know very well. Jesuit play a vital role to promote the Christianity. The Ignatius Loyola was highly responsible for, he was the founder of the Jesuit missionary. This much of information you have to write. Here, this is new. This is new. Two new information I mentioned. These are all the Portuguese colonial enterprises in India. Okay, broad general knowledge should be there to understand right means. Prelims right, you have to study factual information. Understood? Yes. So fifth is over. Sixth question. To the sixth question. Discuss the causes of the failure of 1857 revolt. First part. Okay. So 1.5 page you have to write that one. He tried to say, right, 1847 revolt as first war of independence. So listen, second part. First part is vomiting. What are all the causes of 1847 revolt? You have to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Second part is it right to say? It is your interpretation. You can write it, yes, it is a first war of independence. You can repudiate, no, it is not a first war of independence. It's like a 10+1 revolt. It's up to you. Second part is your own understanding part. You can substantiate either yes or no. Right, even not necessarily to give yes, not necessarily to give no. It's based on how you are approaching the second part and how you derive, and conclusion is it is yes, it's a first war of independence or no. But the first part is same answer. How many students have written? All the students should write same answer. What are all the various causes of the failure of 1847? Simple thing. Introduction part you have to give it. Because of maladministration of the British, that is English East India Company, all the people got tension, soldiers, artisans, peasants, right, next Jamindars. But 10th May 1847 at Meerut, soldiers revolted and all the people supported. Entire North India witnessed revolt. That's all over. 1847 revolt over. Right. Next. But ultimately it was suppressed. Right. What are all the reason for failure? You can give subtopic. So first, what is 1847 revolt? Completely I have given picturization. Next, causes of failure. What is the first failure? No organized one. Am I right? It's not at all organized. It was mentioned like haphazard manner. Second thing is no qualified leader. Leader were there. Beham, Hazrat Mahal, Bahadur Shah too. Leader were there, but qualified leader. Even Bahadur Shah too was declared as Emperor of India, but he had no qualities to lead the entire thing. So I never say no leaders, no qualified leaders, energetic leader. Second. Third is no one ambition. Am I right? Do you know? That's the 1847 revolt. All had their own ambition. Do you, what peasant did? Wanted to expel, kill the governor general? No. Peasant attacked Jamindar. With it, there is over. What soldier did? Soldiers attacked their higher officer. Over. What Jhansi want? She wanted to restore her Jhansi. Her ambition is different. What Nana Sahib want? He wanted pension. If pension is given, he would not fight. He would not participate in the revolt. So no single ambition to expel the British, rather than collective ambitions. So diversified fight. It's a third reason. Fourth reason is, right, soldiers participated. Whether all the soldiers participated? No. Only 2 provinces soldiers alone participated. You write it. One is Bengal soldiers and Awadh soldiers. So major soldier participated in 1847 revolt was Bengal and Awadh soldiers. Then what about Gurkhas, Nepal and other soldiers? All soldiers helped the British to kill these soldiers. So, soldiers participated in 1847, but not all. Only these 2 groups. Other regiment, Madras regiment, Gurkha regiment, Sikh regiment, that regiments were used to suppress the Bengal and Bihar, that is Awadh regiment revolter soldiers. So it's a failure. Am I right? This much. And the last one, princely state sided with the British. So princely state supported the British to easily suppress the revolt. 6 points, 6 points, just 2 lines or 3 lines. Over 150 words is 125 words is over. Next 125 words, the second. What is the second thing is it right to say the 1847 revolt is the first war of independence? Yes. You can say yes, it is right to say. You have to give points. Okay. So yes. Those who have written yes, you just check it. These kinds of points you have written or not. No, it is not that first war of independence. I will give points. Anyhow, you have to give 1 points. Okay, either you have to say yes or you have to say no. You should not give mixed answer to this. For question, is it right to say Supriyo is a good person? Yes, sir, I am a good person. One side. Otherwise, I am a worst person, sir. Other, no, I am a good and worst person. How is it possible to say? Okay. So here only to either yes or no. In this, if it is yes, yes, sir, it's a first war of independence. Why? How could you say at last EAC was removed? Yes. It's a war of independence, yeah. EAC was removed. 1847 revolt happened. 1858 EAC was removed. How Gandhiji expelled the British government in 1947? If that is war of independence, means this is also war of independence. Whatever the cause, ultimately EAC was expelled. So it is war of independence. Second, many people participated. Actually, Kattawoman revolted, Veluthambi revolted, Santals revolted. Such a community alone fought. But here, only confined to North India. Keep it in mind. It's just confined to North India. But within North India itself, many people participated. Participatory wise, very more. So it's a war of independence. Am I right? And third, all had single enemy. Who are the single enemy? English. Am I right? All opposed. Their causes may be different. They are attacked different people. But a single enemy, English. Do you know what is nationalism? What is freedom struggle during the British period is whoever opposed the British, all are called the nationalist. So Jhansi, a nationalist. Beham Hazrat Mahal, a nationalist. So all are nationalist because all opposed British. Whether British lower officer or British higher officer or different officer, that is immaterial. In that way, you have to give general explanation based on this Jhansi, Beham Hazrat Mahal. You know? Why I am saying is many history again and again you would study and wanted to make familiar. So that's why you are thinking that sir history I couldn't understand because you knew other subject you don't know anything. If you just study you will get satisfied because that is the first thing. Understood? This is what yes point. No point if you have written. So at last yes, it is a first war of independence. There's no doubt at all. Who said is I highly accept what V.D. Savarkar said. I highly accept. Because who was the first person to say it's a first war of independence is V.D. Savarkar. I highly accept it. His view. Right. Here you come to. No, sir. How could you say it's a first war of independence? Whether all the people participated, whether South India participated, no. How could you say? So it's not first war of independence. Right. Second, no one had aimed to expel the British. All fought for their own cause. Then how could you say it's a first war of independence? Wrong. In that way, you have to say. Am I right? And success, who said sir success, sir? At last, the revolt was suppressed, vehemently suppressed. Jhansi Rani was killed. Bahadur Shah deported to Rangoon. Beham Hazrat Mahal escaped. Completely suppressed. How would you say it's a war of independence? Am I right? Last, no one cause. No one cause. At last, by 1857, there is not at all a concept of independence. There is not at all a concept of nationalism. There is not at all a concept of India. India itself was not at all a one. Consider India concept nationalism one only after 1900. Then how could you say it's a nationalism? In that way, you have to answer. Why many students would have studied my class notes without studying spectrum and would write it. Don't do that. Study spectrum book. Likewise, this you study. So how many variety of points I have given? This is the broad. Even if you have written good, whether right or wrong, those who answered this question, now you will go, okay, you can write like this. This is the 6th question. 7th question is pure factual oriented. One student asked, sir, where I have to give just one line answer. Am I right? Like this question, because it's a first just 7.5 mark question. 5 mark question, 7.5 mark question. You no need to give lengthy introduction. No need to explain each information lengthy. So 5, 7 mark question, just write the points. 1, 2. Just give 6 or 7 points, 2 lines intro, 2 lines conclusion. That's all your page. Like this question, don't go for analysis because nothing is there. Write short notes. That's all. You just confine to short notes. Don't write beyond that. Okay. In this Ilbert Bill and Ilbert Bill controversy, I think Nehru report I have given. Swadeshi movement discussed. Divide at empira. This topic alone is new. What is divide at empira? Na? Simple divide and rule. Because this alone I want to give as a new. Note it down. What is divide at empira is divide and rule. By this time you can answer what are all the various points regarding the divide and rule. I hope no need to explain beyond this level of the divide and rule. Am I right? I hope. Nehru report, same thing. What I have given in the book, you can notebook, you can copy paste. Significance of Swadeshi movement, boycott of foreign, promotion of indigenous industry, Bengali literature, that is Amarswana Bangla, correct? And it's a first national movement in mass level, significance. Rise of revolutionary nationalism, significance. Note it down, right? These are all significance. Nehru report wise, in this you would not feel any difficulties. Divide and rule means, divide at empira means divide and rule. Now you can answer this question. What are all divide and rule? After 1847 revolt itself, I have given 4 points of divide and rule. Hindu Muslims, Muslims versus Sikh, and army was divide and rule. Next, racial discrimination. So many divide and rule I have given. After that, right, 1909 separate electorate system. That's also divide and rule. Next thing, 1919 separate electorate system was extended to other people also. So 1909 separate electorate system to Muslims, 1919 separate electorate system to other people. This should be there. And the next thing is communal award. Who gave the communal award? Ramsay MacDonald gave the communal award. You have to flow, complete flow of this one and you will get answer. Ramsay MacDonald, and ultimately that divide and rule led to the partition of India. Why not? Even 1905 Bengal partition also divide and rule. How many information? That's why I'm saying don't again and again mug it up. You study it one or twice, study in the spectrum and just realize it. How can I answer? Okay, in a analytical manner, in a broad manner. Apart from that, 7th question wise, I hope there's no need of any further explanation. I think no need. Right. Any doubt up to this? Then last 8, 9, 10, 12th, once finished, I will tell. Any doubt? Ask the question of this, whatever discussed, okay? 3rd question to 7th question. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Sir, in Portuguese question, 5th question, you said about the points, no, sir. All the points I have included, but in a collapsed way. Like I followed your notes. So after Vasco da Gama, that spice trade, then I came in a collapse. I didn't write in a like first half I didn't write, and second half you said no, sir.
Okay.
So I didn't write like that. So it's that a problem?
If coherent, not at all a matter. But if you write haphazard way, then mark will be reduced, even though you have written all the points.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay, all the points does not is not at all a matter. You have to write. There should be a link between first paragraph and subsequent paragraph. If you have written, then not at all a matter.
Yes, sir.
Not necessarily write what I mentioned.
Okay, sir. Last doubt in 4th question, commercialization of Indian agriculture. I included the peasant movement, sir. Indigo movement.
Yeah, definitely you can write. Because of the commercialization only, indigo uprising, Champaran Satyagraha, definitely you should write. I forget. You can add that.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. That's it, sir.
Next. Yes. Next.
Sir,
Yes.
fourth question for the impacts can we include Indigo revolt and dependency on money lenders, sir?
Yeah, definitely. 1 line or 2 line.
Okay, sir. And same as the previous aspirant said, in the fifth question, I was not in the orderly manner, sir. Will that affect the marks or?
Not necessarily to write what I mentioned in orderly manner. You can follow your own orderly manner, not necessarily to be like this. If your answer is coherent, that's enough.
Okay, sir. And then sixth question, the causes for failure was also like the intellectuals didn't participate in the war, no, sir. You didn't mention about it.
Yes, definitely. Intellectual people didn't participate in it. And that's
And
also
also the military equipment was not so good as British.
yes. That's also that two are valid.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Next. Next.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in the commercialization of agriculture question, in the consequences, shall we write a point about indigo revolt?
You can mention of the indigo revolt. Peasant revolt happened like indigo, Champaran. That's enough. Should not explain indigo and Champaran.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So can means in fourth question we should not write about land. We should sorry, in fourth question should we write about land revenue system, sir? Means zamindar that one.
Zamindari system you can write. Other than that, but you should not explain Zamindari system. Or no, what is
Means just
yes.
yes, sir. Means we should not write the full explanation of that. Just land revenue system, zamindar system is also a commercialization of agriculture. At one point we can write.
No, commercialization. Zamindari system commercialization is entirely different. Zamindars were just collector. Commercialization means that's why I said food crops instead of cash crops instead of food crops. That is commercialization. Appointment of zamindars is not commercialization. Right? Land, zamindari system.
Sir, in sixth question, can we write the failures means all India participation was absent and limited territorial spread and the southern parts did not participate in an efficient manner.
That's why I mentioned. No point I mentioned that southern part didn't participate. No all India participation. Okay.
Means can we write uncoordinated and poorly organized?
Yeah. That's why I said first point I mentioned what are all the negative of poorly organized, coordinated, no leadership.
So then for seventh question, Ilbert controversies.
I didn't take Hilbert controversy.
Yes.
The classroom I didn't take Hilbert. I'll just mute. Yes. So what is Hilbert controversy? What is first Hilbert bill? So who is Hilbert? What is Hilbert bill? What is Hilbert controversy? That's important. All note it down. Hilbert, law member of Viceroy's Executive Council. Law member of Viceroy's Executive Council. ராகேஷ் கொஞ்சம் அந்த வீடியோ எல்லாம் கொஞ்சம் ஆஃப் பண்ணுங்க ராகேஷ். Yes. So he was a viceroy's law member. Who was the viceroy was Ripon. So who was Ilbert? Law member in viceroy. He introduced a bill. That's why it's called Ilbert bill. Okay. Who is Ilbert? Who was Ilbert mentioned? What was Ilbert bill is an Indian judge can trial means here judicial proceedings. Judicial proceedings are called trial. An Indian judge can trial a British person in India. Trial means judicial proceedings are called trial. Can trial an European in India. European means British person. This is called the proposed Ilbert bill. Okay, if it is so, before this bill, only a British judge can commit and try a British person in India, and he could sentence him for jail. Even though you are a Supreme Court judge of Indians are not allowed to try any British people because of racial discrimination. If I am an Indian judge, a British is supposed to appear brought me before as an accused means he would say, my lord. Oh, this is the black person. How could he say my lord? I am thinking that he is like my dog. How could he say I am my lord? That's why Indian judge cannot try a British person. To avoid that and to bring equality only, right, this bill tried to bring even an Indian judge to trial. Trial means judicial proceedings of a British person. This is a proposed bill. Against this bill only, British people in India started to agitate. In India started to agitate. And last, the bill was diluted. What was diluted? We don't want, okay? The bill was completely diluted and led to the resignation of Lord Ripon. Actually, Lord Ripon resigned because of this and led to the resignation of Lord Ripon. This is called Ilbert Bill controversy. So who is Ilbert? What is Ilbert Bill? What is Ilbert Bill controversy? I mentioned. This is 2021 expected preliminary question. Even 2020 itself, it may be asked. Got it? It's a expected question. Okay. Okay. What's the significance of this question? That's a Ilbert Bill controversy. Its significance is, right, here you should know of this controversy is significance is collective responsibility. Collective responsibility. Because if just 2 lakh British people in India could give pressure to the British government, why not 30 crore Indian people to give pressure to British? If 2 lakh could possible give pressure, mean why not 30 crore people? This is the important. The Ilbert Bill controversy happened in 1883. Right, INC was born as a collective organization in 1885. This is that one of the significance of the Ilbert Bill. If 2 lakh people can possible, means why not 30 crore people? And we need a strong organization and ultimately Congress and other organizations that led to the rise of nationalism. It put a light on mass movements. That's all. Right. Next person. Yes.
So that's also that I only asked about the Ilbert Bill controversy.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Hello, sir. So I had a question regarding the 7th question, the divide et impere question. Is it okay if we mentioned events that have happened outside India as well, in terms of recent events or something, to support the theory of divide and rule policy. Like, for example, the Ottoman Empire was divided again based on post World War II. It was divided based on the divide and rule policy to control all the Arabs of the region. Is it okay to mention that here?
One or two lines you can mention, but don't explain it. Likewise, not only in India, throughout this happened, like Ottoman taxes, so on, so used. Definitely.
Okay, sir. So one more question. In the sixth question, we have one second, sir. Yes, sir. In this in the question where we mentioned that there was an sorry, sir. 1 second. Wrong question. Yes, sir. In the third question, the measure of Cornwallis, we have mentioned that each of the measure that he has taken, there was an impact, right? Is it okay to write one measure and beneath that write impact immediately, or we should write it in the end, the impact in the end?
It's up to you. I have written impact and measures and impact different in different portion. You can write it immediately. That's also correct way.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. That's it.
Yes.
Sir, can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, in fourth question, can we add some positive impacts like Indian economy linked to global economy, economic activities increased, some technology developed?
You can write that also.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Sir, actually, the Ilibert bill controversy, which we just mentioned, sir. Sir, means when we approach the question, means if I start, suppose the issue, what's the issue? The issue was inequality, right? Means between the British judge and the Indian judge. So I just mentioned the issue first in 1 to 2 lines. After that, I wrote what is the Ilibert bill. Means to address this issue only, the Ilibert bill was introduced by C.P. Ilbert. So I wrote that. After that, I wrote the response of the British in India, means the British were staying in India. After that, I wrote that the government's reaction means they had to postpone the bill, they had to remove the bill from that. When after that, I wrote the response of the Indians, and then I concluded this. Means is it the correct format?
Also right, because this is an open-ended question. You can give the information at any various way, not necessarily to be like this. Here I have given the simplest way. You can give your own way. Since it's an open end, you can give this format. That's also right.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Another problem is there. Means problem is my issue is there. And suppose in this commercialization question, means I mentioned one thing: the triangular trade by the British means how they are using the indigo, cotton, raw silk, opium, and paper from India and taking it to Britain, and using that they are buying tea, means as a kind of butter, they are exchanging with tea from China. So is this can I write this?
Definitely you can write. You can add this also.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes. Last set of questions. Question number 8. Give a comparative analysis of Ambedkar and Gandhi. This is exactly 2016, I hope, 2016 UPSC question. This is what exactly, with some deliberate expansion of the question has been asked. I have simply given comparative analysis. And keep it in mind, whenever a question is a comparative analysis, you have to give both similarities as well as differences. Normally, a student would give negatives, that is the differences. So question is comparative analysis. You have to give differences and similarities. How about the opening is two great leaders of 20th century worked for social, political, economic upliftment of the Indians, especially for the downtrodden, the so-called untouchables or depressed class people. The leaders are, one is Gandhiji, another is Ambedkar. Likewise, you can give same thing question, but how I just interpreted is with the simplest. 20th century I mentioned, socio-political, economic I mentioned. For common people, especially the underdeveloped, that people are called untouchables or the depressed class people mentioned. Right? They worked. Right? And another keyword, all the people should note it down. Their goal is one and the same. That is, destination is one and the same, but they used a different route. This way you have tried. Whenever your question is related to great leader, goal is one, sir. Destination is one, but train route is different. Bus route, they take the route is different. What is the vehicle they used is different. Different route, different vehicle, but destination one. Then what are all the similarities? What are all the differences? Am I right? Yes, no doubt. All both opposed untouchability. Untouchability. Am I right? There is no second opinion about that similarities. Both wanted to uplift the people. For that, he gave the word Dalit, one gave the word, another gave the word Harijan. Harijan. Am I right? Who gave the word Dalit, who gave the word Harijan? You know very well of this. Right. Second, even they started organization. All India Harijan Sabha, All India Depressed Class Association. So for the upliftment of the people, the goal is one and the same. No second thought about that untouchability. Untouchability is the sin. Untouchability should be abolished. In that had the single things. They are traveling towards that similarities. Now you come to differences. Right. How similarities, that much of differences are there. Right. While Gandhiji just confined to untouchability, right, opposed untouchability, right, Ambedkar opposed casteism, opposed Varna, opposed Hinduism itself. Opposed Hinduism itself. Even today, some people try to give that the colorful version of Hinduism to Ambedkar, but himself opposed it. And the best example is in 1956, himself converted into Buddhism. In Nagpur, a grand meeting happened. Nearly lakhs of Dalit people, and including himself, converted into Buddhism. But Gandhiji never opposed casteism, Varna, and Hinduism. He was the staunch follower of the Hinduism. That's different. In that one is different. Okay. Second, in the case of communal award, separate electorate system to the depressed class people, 1932. Ambedkar wanted a separate electorate system. Gandhiji opposed it. Even Gandhiji went to fasting unto death in that Yaravada jail. So both wanted to uplift the people, but Ambedkar was in favor of separate electoral system for SC people, depressed class people, but Gandhiji opposed it and lost a Pune Pact. Understood? So many things. Even Gandhiji, casteism, Varna, different thing is there. Because what is the thing of Indian Ambedkar? I can say a lot of thing, right? Division of labor. Keep it in mind. It's an excellent concept. Division of labor. All the society has division of labor. Even today, if you go to USA, division of labor is there. If today, for example, if I am a cobbler, division of labor. If I got the money, tomorrow I can become a doctor. After earning the doctor, if I could able to go on step MD. Next, I will go some FRC, FCR, so and so, FRCS, so and so. I can, today I may a cobbler. Tomorrow I may be a doctor. The day after tomorrow I may dean of an academy. That's a hospital. Next I may be the head of the hospital. Division of labor, right? But in India, division of labor is there. Division of laborer. This is the difference between division of labor and division of laborer. Division of labor is good. Division of laborer is wrong. For example, if I am a cobbler, I should be the cobbler. Not only me, my entire generation should be the cobbler. So division of labor is not at all a matter. Division of laborer is the matter. Gandhiji opposed, Gandhiji said casteism is based on division of labor. Ambedkar said casteism is based on division of labor. Actually, this is what persisted in India. If I am a cobbler, I should be remain cobbler. Even though I become MBBS, I am a cobbler. Why not? Even President of India is there. He is asked whether he is AC or ST. No, yeah, he is the President of India. Even today, if you just to go to a bus or to a train, first thing, where are you from? Okay. From which district? Who are you? First, who are you means they are asking caste. They are not at all asking your profession. Okay, this town, yes, from this town, this panchayat, this street. In this street, what meant? At last we would say, I belong to this caste. Over. Much differences are there. Okay, so this is the way you have to write about it. Exactly, this is the question, right? Of 2015 difference. And ninth question, critically examine about the abrupt withdrawal of non-cooperation movement. Yes, when non-cooperation movement was withdrawn, abrupt, the word is important. Chauri Chaura incident. After Chauri Chaura incident, here better to by heart the year 5th Feb 1922 Chauri Chaura. After Chauri Chaura, immediately he withdraw this. Otherwise, no need to remember, reproduce that date. After Chauri Chaura incident, abruptly withdrawn. Yes, now you have to criticize or critically examine. Question is whether withdrawal is good or bad. That is first critical examine. Right? If you write good, positive way. If it is wrong, negative way. So withdrawal is or good, withdrawal is negative. Means what is good? Means yes, Gandhiji withdraw the non-cooperation movement for good reason. What is the reason mean? Right, listen. Gandhiji, while opening that NCM, he said, if small violence happen, I would not hesitate to withdraw the movement. So before starting the movement or at the time of starting the movement itself, Gandhiji clearly mentioned, even a small violence, I would withdraw. So good. In the Gandhian movement itself, it is there. Second is, Chauri Chaura incident is against Gandhian idea of Ahimsa Satyagraha. Am I right? So that is good. Yes, when it went against Ahimsa and Satyagraha, Gandhiji withdrew it. You are writing positive, favorable to Gandhiji for a sudden withdrawal. Third thing is, you consider this situation. If Gandhiji didn't withdraw, after Chauri Chaura incident, people would consider, okay, Gandhiji accepted of killing 22 police people. So in my village also, I would kill some police person. So violence would spread into so many parts of India, and so many Chauri Chaura would happen. Gandhiji don't want that. So if no stopping of this, so many Chauri Chaura would happen in India. Fourth important thing is, if violence happen, British would immediately suppress it. Violence happen, British would immediately suppress it. So if British suppressed it, mean we can't do anything. That is the fourth point. Right? These are all the causes. So why Gandhiji withdraw is that is good. In that way, you have to answer. Now you come to minus. No, sir. Why did this Gandhiji withdraw? Just one village, that to unknown village committed. He punished entire India. Absolutely wrong, sir. He asked him to retire. He is not at all fit for national movement. Likewise. So, one unknown village committed mistake. Gandhiji punished India. Why? Means, sir, that is isolated, sir. Apart from this Chauri Chaura, NCM was good. Why did you stop suddenly? It's like this situation. Keep it in mind. There is a train accident. Listen, there is a train accident in Bihar. Right, there is a train accident in Bihar, right, in Patna district. For that, is it right to stop the entire train in India? Let us close the railway department. Hereafter, no train should be run. Is it right? Otherwise, there is a flight accident in Kerala. Am I right? Is it right to close the entire airport in India? You have to rectify that airport. What is the problem in that flight? That alone, captain, that alone you have to exercise. Closing is not at all. No, you are wrong, sir. Gandhiji is wrong. Criticism. Since you have to criticize. Second is, since Gandhiji stopped, he is dragging for getting independence. Otherwise, we would have got independence in 1922 or 1930 itself, because non-cooperation movement would have gone for indefinite period. British cannot sustain it. We would have got freedom much earlier. You have to give, it's an interpretation. We can't say British would give freedom or not. That is second. You have to write here like this, if condition or hypothesis condition. And third, who were killed? British police were killed. Am I right? British property were tortured. So Gandhiji stopped mean, okay, Gandhiji was supporting British. Gandhiji was in favor of British. Such a question may come. You have to write like this, yeah. Actually, I missed this. What I did, I wrote many factual information in my first mains. That's why openly, if I say without my right, I'd say during my first mains, that too in my optional, out of 300, I got 93 mark in my paper 2. Paper 2 is modern India and world history, 93 mark. In those times, if you get 2-digit marks, it's a shame. First mains, I got this. Then only I analyzed what is the thing. Preliminary history is different, mains history is different. Preliminary history, exact fact you have to reproduce. Mains history, you have to write analysis. Then only I consider. I never studied anything. I just went, I just mentioned the common point. I got 160 plus. Got it? These are all negative, but you have to give positive conclusion. Since it's a Gandhiji, right? Better to give positive conclusion. Yes, what Gandhiji did is correct. Because always keep it in mind, whenever a nationalist did means Gandhiji, Netaji, that people did mean, even though some of the events went negative, you have to give positive conclusion. This is unwritten law in UPSC. Next. 10th, discuss the various phases of revolutionary nationalism. This is a straightforward question. If you just to go through my class notes itself, you can easily answer. So no need of explanation here. Revolutionary nationalism phase 1, revolutionary nationalism phase 2. Right? Here, what are all the nationalism in India, outside India? Same thing. I already given. Revolutionary nationalism, one is Bengal, Surya Sen, that group. Another is UP, Punjab, that group. That's all. And you have to give overall idea. Whatever the method, if you able to give this one, phase 1, phase 2, and even you can write Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose also. That is the biggest revolutionaries and in the name of army. That is also revolutionary nationalism. Because here also they start HRA, HSRA. A means army. This is HRA, HSRA. Am I right? The Surya Sen started IRA, Indian Republican Army. Subhash Chandra Bose started INA, Indian National Army. All are army. So these are all small level, but Subhash started big level. So revolutionary nationalism 1, 2, 3. So if asked question of revolutionary nationalism, includes Subhash mass gathering also, that's all over. And you have to write what happened during that period, and the general idea is over. Since this has been already discussed in our classroom itself, so no need of further explanation regarding this. And 11th, yes, was it wise to accept? It's not wish. Change it. Okay, was it wish? Was it wise actually? Even one student sent SMS, that's a mail to me. Was it wise? WISC, wise to accept Mountbatten plan of partition? Justify your answer. Justify means You can give, yes, it is wise. You can justify if you write wise. If it is unwise, no sir, it is a Himalayan blunder. It is a blunder of 20th century. Who was that fellow? You can give your answer wise or unwise. Right? What is unwise? Is it accept Mountbatten plan? It is unwise or wrong. Why did you accept? Nehru ji, Sardar ji, why did you accept? I mean, because they were the leader. Why did you accept this? On the day 1947, Pakistan was created. Till the date Pakistan, India issue. If no partition, nothing would happen. No Kashmir issue, no skirmishes. We don't want to loss of 41 Jawans in that Pulwama attack. Right? So you can write it is unwise. And if no partition, if we didn't accept partition, no communal, that is partition related communal problem, you can write. Because if no partition mean no migration, both in Bengal side as well as in Pakistan side. We can avoid migration, starvation of people, raping of people, looting of people. Am I right? So it is unwise to accept, sir. It's not, we can't write it's nonsense. It's unwise to accept. Justify your answer. And if no war between Pakistan and India, because no Pakistan at all, India would have concentrate on one thing rather than just concentrate on Pakistan. India by that time would have become world power. If we didn't accept Pakistan, is it wise to accept? It is not wise, sir. Why did you accept it? This is other side, unwise to accept it. Right? And no, it is wise. Pakistan should be created. Partition should be done. Why? To avoid further communal problem. Because already communal problem was started, especially Naukali and Direct Action Day. Am I right? Direct Action Day is a butchering day. In Bengal, one day itself, 6,000 people, I hope, were killed during Suravadi government period. So at least by creating Pakistan, communal violence was stopped both in Bengal as well as in Punjab region. So to stop the communal violence, there is no other go, sir. We have to accept. So justification is right. We should create. Second, you consider, if no one Pakistan today, daily they would ask, create problem. Some people, not all people, Muslim League people, that to Pakistan Muslim League would create problem. And if no one Pakistan today, thereafter daily problem in India, next by this time 2020, so many Pakistan may create. So if no one Pakistan today, tomorrow creation of so many Pakistan. Actually, this is exactly Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's statement. I am reproducing this. That's why Patel also accepted. He said that if no one Pakistan, tomorrow we have to see so many Pakistan. Some packet would be there. This is what? Right, area. No, this is, we would never say Indian. Our culture, our thing is different. Some Muslims, especially the Muslim League, Jinnah's group, not all the Muslims. Understood? Right. So because of this, it is wise. So it's like a hypothesis, if not. This is pure, very broad understanding of the partition related. I think how many people have attended this question? Right. If any creative answer, you say at the last whether it is a wise or not. And 12th question, yes. Home rule movement gave a new impetus. Impetus mean energy. New energy to the national movement. So keep it in mind. Already a student asked, your question is not just to home rule movement. Partly home rule movement and partly future of the home rule movement. Am I right? Significance of the home rule movement in nationalism. Home rule movement, you know who started, you would write it. Why it is new energy of the home rule movement is, listen, after Surat split, carefully listen. That's a significant. Who started what all, that you would have written. What's the significance of the home rule movement? After Surat split and before Gandhiji. Am I right? Congress was in dull phase, very dull phase. With the arrival of Gandhiji only, again Congress started to rise. In between got dull phase. So during the dull phase only, this home rule movement. So it is sustained the national movement. When Congress was in dull phase, home rule movement sustained the national movement. This is the new impetus, new energy. Second is, what is the aim of the home rule movement? Home rule, self-government. Yes, it is the home rule movement. Montague statement. Montague statement for the first time accepted self-government. India would be given self-government. Tilak shouted like anything, I want Swaraj. Am I right? Extremists shouted anything, we want Swaraj. But deaf are. But when 90% shout, yes, Montague said, we will give. Success, new energy. Am I right? So government is ready to give home rule. Third is, whoever participated in the home rule later actively participated in Gandhian movement, especially Jawaharlal Nehru. A person called Jawaharlal Nehru was picked, started to rise in politics only because of this home rule movement. So identification of political stage of Jawaharlal Nehru from the home rule movement, and later become the lieutenant of the right hand of the Gandhiji, like this. Understood? This is called new impetus. So when no national movements were happening, home rule movement, 90% home rule movement got it. It's a new impetus. So 2 point, what is home rule movement? What are all the stages? BG Tilak started here and there. What is aim? Other side, how it is new energy. These are all the new energies. This is the way of writing is. So what is question, based on that you write. Rather than what do you know, don't write. Right? Understood? In Tamil we used to go, தெரிஞ்சதை எழுதாதீங்க, கொஸ்டினுக்கு ஆன்சர் பண்ணுங்க. Right? If you give right like, what do you know? If you write, you will get satisfied, but no mark. But what is the question is asked, if you write, you will not get satisfied, but you will get more score. That's all. With this, session is over. In doubt regarding last 4 questions? Eighth question onwards.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, doubt I'm having, like for all the questions, like 1857 revolt or the non-cooperation movement, could we write a little intro of what is non-cooperation movement or what is 1857 revolt?
Definitely.
Could we start with that?
Yeah. Definitely you can write.
Okay.
But don't write much about it. Right? Non-cooperation movement between 1920 1922. That's all. That's enough. You should not elaborate that aim, method of struggle. That is immaterial. That we don't.
Okay. So other thing is, for the comparative analysis of Gandhiji and Ambedkar, could we put in a box and include both similarity and difference? Is that any problem?
A box is okay, but the problem is it is too congested. That's it. If you are able to write in a sparsely manner, that is not at all. Because if you written inside the box, if you are explaining it, if it is congested, means difficult to read, and you are straining that evaluator to make it to read. Otherwise, if it's 1 or 2 line within the box, not at all a matter. If you go with
What I thought was, yes, sir.
But if you try to write 4 or 5 lines within a box, it is too congested, not good.
What I thought was, like if I write in a box, no, I could compare the one point with other. So I thought like that. So I could.
Based on that, okay, then okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. That's what I thought. Thank you.
Next. Yes. Yes, you may speak.
Hello? Hello? Sir, am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, yeah.
So for this Mountbatten question, I gave the I mainly focused on the word partition because Mountbatten plan talks about independence with partition. So I gave like history of how there's a divide gap between INC and the Muslims and how it created from the communal award separate electorates, and I ultimately came to the conclusion like it's wise to accept. So is it right way to answer the question?
1 point. 3 lines you can write. 3 to 4 lines. But that is not on the answer.
Okay, sir. So I have other question like these revolutionary nationalists, is it a positive or negative phenomenon? We should support them in the answer, or like we should give a negative opinion like it should be corrupt, that shouldn't be encouraged, something like that.
We should appreciate it because for the British only they are terrorists. For Indians they are nationalists. You have to appreciate. You have to give positive notes. How do you criticize Subhash Chandra Bose? How do you write negative of Bhagat Singh of taking weapons? Yes.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, my doubt is regarding 1857 revolt, sir. Sir, in that, whether it was first war of independence means we should answer like Santal rebellion and Veluthambi revolt and some other, what to say, that soldiers revolt in different places, no, sir. In Velur mutiny, that should be answered, no, sir. Or should be analyzed and give, sir. That can be treated as an answer or not, sir.
No need. You can just mention these points. Even before 1857 revolt, other revolt happened. Like any other, this is also a revolt. In that way, you can mention, but no need to explain of other revolt.
Okay, sir. Sir, and my next doubt is regarding Mountbatten plan, sir. Sir, in that, if I am accepting it was wise to accept Mountbatten plan, I am writing some certain points like we should respect the choice of the people. That first time it was given to all the people, and the MLAs played a decisive role to increase the representation. That and all positive means if I can whether I can include the some criticisms need to be added. If it has been added in the Mountbatten plan, it would have been better. Like indemnity cost did not been borne by the British, like the war damage, whatever the damage they have done, that has not been that transaction has not been done. Could that be included, sir? Could that be included in the answer, sir?
You can include that point also. But indemnity likewise just confine to 1 point. Don't elaborate.
Okay, sir. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
So can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Sir, it's just you asked for the conclusion of that Mountbatten plan. So I've written in the conclusion like the partition plan, though it put a veil on the happiness of our independence, but it was inevitable owing to the circumstances. It was wise to accept the plan from preventing India to be split into many bits, as it is an age-old fact that situations and decisions changes with time. Is it okay, sir?
Okay, but it's like.
Okay, sir. Since first time, no, sir. I'll try to. Sir, means like I just told it is wise and
for Indian foreign
rough.
diplomatic answer.
Okay, sir.
Straightforward.
Sir, so what is should is there any negative in writing like this, or should we just say it cut and forward that no, it was wise or it was not wise?
This is also right way. You can write this. This is also anyhow. You have given the information to the examiner.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Our way to reach what you try to say, it should reach the examiner. That's all. Your way of presentation, your way of understanding question, you can give at any way. At last, you have to. It should reach the evaluator to get more score. Don't make the evaluator to make too confused of this. So you will be the loser at the end. In the name of writing complicated word or complicated sentence formation, your English vocabulary may be good, but ultimate we want to reach your we wish to reach your answer to the evaluator. That's all, and to get mark. Accordingly, you look into your answer. Next.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So my question is regarding 1857 revolt, sir. Sir, actually, the name term coined by the V.D. Savarkar ji as it's a first war of independence. By highlighting and mentioning him in answer might give a negative impact, because I'm asking this because many people in India claim that he is not a nationalist, and many people will criticize him. So it make any negative impact?
No. While writing that, it is a first war of independence. Yes, I do agree. As like mentioned by V.D. Savarkar, not deliberately like V.D. Savarkar mentioned. I also in favor of V.D. Savarkar's view of the first war of independence. In that way, you have to include V.D. Savarkar rather than deliberately giving about the name, about his name.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So to substantiate your answer, you try to say, like me, someone is also mentioned much earlier. Yes, next.
ஹலோ சார்.
எஸ்
சார், இப்போ இந்த பைக்கார பிளினியை வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வார் ஆஃப் இண்டிபெண்டன்ஸா எடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்களா சார்? அப்போ என்ன சார் பண்றது?
அப்படின்னா கவர்மெண்ட் சொல்லிடுச்சுன்னா மாற்ற வேண்டியதான், வேற வழி இல்லை. அது வரைக்கும் எல்லாம் அமைதியா இருக்கணும். என்சிஆர்டி புக்ல அப்படித்தான் வந்துருச்சுன்னா நம்மளும் மாத்திர வேண்டியதான்.
அப்போ இப்போ வர ஆனா 1857 தான் நம்ம எடுத்து எழுதணும் அப்படின்னு
வரைக்கும் வச்சுக்கணும். அது 2 வருஷமா சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க, அப்படியே வச்சிருக்காங்க.
அப்படியா? ஓகே சார். சார், அப்புறம் அந்த 11th கொஸ்டின் இருக்குல்ல சார், அதுல வாஸ் இட் விஷ் டு அக்செப்ட் த மவுண்ட் பேட்டன் பிளான் ஆஃப் பார்ட்டிஷன் இருக்குல்ல, அதை நான் என்ன எடுத்துட்டேன்னா வாஸ் இட் அப்படிங்கிறத இந்தியான்னு எடுத்துக்கிட்டேன். இந்தியா வந்து மவுண்ட் பேட்டன் பிளானை விரும்புனுச்சா அப்படின்னு எடுத்து எழுதிக்கிட்டேன் சார்.
இல்ல கரெக்ட். அது நான் பண்ண தப்பு தான். வாஸ் இட் வாய்ஸ் அப்படி போட்டா கூட ஆன்சர் வந்திருக்குமே. இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்து அப்படின்னா நீங்க பாசிட்டிவா எழுதியிருக்கணும். மவுண்ட் பேட்டன் பிளான் பண்ணது ரைட் தான்.
ஆனா அப்போ ரியலிஸ்டிக் வியூவா, அப்போ வந்து ஒரு ரியலிஸ்டிக் வியூவா எல்லாரும் யோசிச்சதுனால நம்ம வந்து பார்ட்டிஷன் பண்ண வேண்டிய ஆயிருச்சு. ஆனா நம்ம கான்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ல நம்ம வந்து இருந்தாலும் செக்குலரா போட்டிருக்கோம்.
செக்குலரா பண்ணிட்டோம். ஓகே, அப்படியே எழுதலாம். நீங்க क्वेश्चन நான் தப்பா கொடுத்திருக்கேன், பட் உங்க ஆன்சர் வந்து கரெக்ட். மவுண்ட் பேட்டன் வந்து எடுத்தது வைஸ் சாய்ஸ் நீங்க எழுதிருக்கீங்க. ஆன்சர் வந்துருச்சு. எனி ஹவ் பாசிட்டிவா எழுதிட்டீங்க.
ஓகே சார். தேங்க்யூ சார்.
தேங்க்யூ. Next.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes.
So for 9th question, can we should be should be elaborate non-cooperation movement, so that this was happened due to this Rowlatt Act and these incidents should be elaborate and write it, sir?
No need to elaborate. Straight away you come to this. If you want just one word, 2 lines. 1920, 1922, non-cooperation started to attain sovereignty. Swaraj, everything was going good. 1922, Feb 5, suddenly stopped. That's all over. No need for elaborate. What happened? What led to the non-cooperation? That's irrelevant to the question.
So after that point, should we write directly like Chauri Chaura incident is one which was the cause? Sir, in same 9th question you have. So in same 9th question you have told the window of good and bad, no sir. While were you telling bad, my net connection was not good, so I was not able to get that bad. Can you show the board?
No, in the board I have. Better you go through video. because in board I have given just that skeletal points alone. Better you go to the video,
Okay,
plus
sir.
and minus mean go to the video, you will get idea.
So next one for 10th question, so we have to write revolution is phase 1 and phase 2, sir. Or otherwise, what should we write?
Phase 1, phase 2, that's all. And
Means we have to elaborate.
we have to
We have to
elaborate.
elaborate that.
Yes, yes. How to, what
Means
year?
that young Indian started to aim was Purna Swaraj.
Yeah.
And INA trial should be right, sir.
No, INA, not INA trial.
It's not understood, sir.
I have not trial.
So your voice is not audible, sir.
Your side net issues there. That's the reason I told.
Now it's audible, sir. While you're saying something, not getting it.
That's why, because when I'm speaking to others, it's audible. Right. INA you have tried. Don't write INA trial.
Only INA. Okay, sir.
INA.
One minute, sir. Sir, mountable plan, I just wrote, what did I write is, I wrote just 2 points about introduction and wrote mountable plan, and while at last I concluded that it was a wish to accept mountable plan. That is fine, sir.
Yes, definitely. Because question I have mentioned differently, but it's wish to accept is also okay. Is wish or unwish? At last you mentioned it's a wish to accept. Okay, good. That's also right answer.
Means I wrote mountable plan. What were the recommendations in that plan I wrote? Is it correct to write or we should not write it?
First you have to give the gist of the plan, then it's a wish or not it. Then but you cannot elaborate all the mountable.
Okay, sir. Thank you. So at the last conclusion, I wrote the Indian leaders wished to accept mountable plan, which led to August 15, 1947 independence. Is that right, sir?
It means that you have concluded positive.
Yes, sir. So for 12th question, should home rule movement should be written we should elaborate that home rule movement or
No, that's why I said in the class. Just now only I said how you have tried home rule movement, and one part is home rule movement, second part is simple.
second part is
Impetus to the system. What are all the impetus of home rule movement?
so that my set net was not good, so I was not able to listen those points, sir.
Then go to the video, you will get it. Some technical issues are there from that your side, because you are asking all the things from 8. I think so. Some technical issues. Your internet connection is slow. I hope that's why the same point what I have asked. Right, your technical issues, because of that it's missing. I hope you go through the video, you will get elaborate things I have given.
Means in home rule movement, I just wrote home rule movement started in the year. The idea was to start by Annie Besant, and in India it was started by B.G. Tilak. Um, and I wrote that Minte Morley reforms. Is that right to write that, sir?
And that's wrong.
Minte, we should not write that Morley reforms. We can just write about home rule movement. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Sir, what is the meaning of impetus, sir?
Go through the video because you have missed that. I have explained the impetus to 2 minutes. I explained about the impetus. What are all the impetus related things? I hope your net connection is not connection is bad at the time. In that
Yes,
explanation,
sir.
under impetus, I discussed 2 to 3 points. Elaborately discussed about.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Because connection issues are there. I hope.
Yes, sir. I connected so many times, sir.
That's why. I have discussed
Okay, sir.
elaborate.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir. Thanks. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.